constantly depressed. And
Yeah, I know.
Andy, I'm trying to start the fucking podcast here.
Well, I just
Please.
want to know who I'm working with, you know. I don't work with just anybody.
Yeah, right. Well,
Only come in
hey,
'cause I
it's
knew
my
Louisa was
podcast, and
like-
I don't know who I'm working with. Right. Well, this is the kind of the first, really the second, but we're calling it the first because the last one only had 2 people in it. So, like your audience on your first night, did I hear that? And did you tell me you had 3 in the first night?
3 in the first night, 12 in the next night, and...
Try and get a little bit closer to the microphone.
Well, you can't hear me. Like
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows who the fuck you are, but we'd
No, I
like
don't
to
care.
hear what you're
The
saying.
police know who I am, that's all you have to
Yeah.
know. 3 on the first night, 14 on the second night, and about 19 today.
Rather excellent.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Now, I'm still trying to start the podcast.
Right, okay.
Just as well I don't go on TikTok. I wouldn't even be able to start before I was finished. Right. So this is 2023's Slaughtered podcast. This year we are slaughtered at the Beehive.
Slaughtered.
Well, we 100 years ago when we were somebody, we were slaughtered at the abattoir. And then...
You survived.
Things happened. But no, so it's slaughtered, it's a bar. Never mind. Comedy. you can't get the help these days. So
That's right.
this year was slaughtered at the Beehive with... Okay, thank you. Slaughtered at the Beehive with the Scottish Comedy Festival. And this is the first kind of official podcast with me, Copstick, and Stephen. Introduce yourself, Stephen.
Evening all, I'm Stephen.
That's it.
Jesus, what?
Solid work.
He's meant to be the one keeping me on the
I can
straight
figure
and
out-
narrow.
Yeah.
We were going to call it Copstick and the Voice of Reason, and Stephen was going to be the voice of reason, but I'm very, very glad we didn't go for that. Now, in no particular order.
He's got the Valium. He's bought the
Oh,
Valium.
hello. We just park yourself. Park yourself. We've got now. What I'm going to do is introduce the 3 people that I know who they are, and then we've got 3. I've got 3 other people, young people. I've got no idea who or what the fuck they are. Stephen invited them. All I know is I've just bought a round of drinks that cost 37 quid. So they better be fucking funny.
No pressure.
Are you funny?
No, we're good. Hilarious.
No, you laughing is not really
Yeah, I
what
know,
we're
I know,
here for.
I know.
You making people... I'm slightly worried because the female of the group, the female of the pride, has got terrifying nails.
Yeah.
And that's it. If they don't laugh, she uses them. That's
Kind of quite like that. It's a little bit sexy. Anyway, right.
Great at
Moving
picking your
on.
nose with.
We've got the elder statesman of the group, 108 years old and somehow still going, Andy Zapp.
Yes,
Tell us a
I'm-
little bit about yourself, Andy.
Well, I'm 108.
Well done.
Looking great. You know
Yep.
what I mean? I had a nice sunbed today. Had a sunbed.
A son, you old tart.
I am, yes.
I thought that was one big liver spot.
Well, it was. Isn't anymore.
When did you first come to? Because you guys, I'm looking at the young people here.
Right.
I find it a little bit upsetting, but I do have to look at young people every so often. Is this your first time here?
First time bringing the show.
Yeah.
No. Oh, we're going to damage you psychologically so bad.
that's why we're here.
Yeah, excellent. Andy, when did you first come to Edinburgh?
I can't remember. It was such a long. About 2014.
Try and lean
13.
forward into the mic, Andy.
200 BC. No, 2013. I think it was the first time I came.
As late as that?
I came up here with Chris, didn't I? Chris Dangerfield.
Oh,
all those years ago.
What were you doing? Pissing your talent up the wall before that?
I was, yeah. I was a psychiatric social worker,
Whoa.
working with the homeless in West London, doing good works.
So
'Cause
not
of
that
my
much different by
lifetime
the
of-
end of the Fringe.
Because of my lifetime of debauchery and that, I thought I needed to pay back to society, what I had taken.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, we're thrilled, delighted, actually thrilled. Luisa Omielan,
Hi.
you're looking particularly gorgeous, if I
Thank
may say
you.
so. Although
Thank
she
you.
always looks gorgeous.
You never
Thank
fucking
you.
said that about
Always
me.
looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
Now, Luisa is normally I would have dismissed as another girly comic. But
Sacre bleu.
you're just an amazing pillar of female strength and walksetter of your own destiny. You
Thank
went
you.
from. Well, tell us better than me.
My first Fringe was in 2008. Was when I first started
remember
coming.
it well.
Yeah, so I came out 2008. Well, no, you might remember 2012. So 2012. So I did 2008. And I did lots of like dual hand shows. So like kids shows, theatre shows, like
Right.
stand-up comedy, but like for kids, for adults, la la la.
Right,
Two
no,
hands,
they-
3 handers. Yeah. So
what
you
I remember was-
2012, which is the year I came up with my debut solo show, which is a show called What Would Beyonce Do?
What would Beyonce do? I think we all remember that. It was a real
Yeah, it
landmark.
Yeah, it
show.
was. Yeah, it was a landmark show, and it was the first show of its kind because it was very. I talked about things like, which is now very common, but at the time it was like male suicide and body image and relationships, and what I find frustrating or what's been difficult is all those stuffs now are popular, and when I was doing that show back in the day, I top and tailed it with joy. I top and tailed it with pop culture references because I was like, that's how you make suicide and mental health and shit like that like accessible and fun. And I wanted audiences that were girls, gays from all different backgrounds. So I bookmarked it with joy, and it was an amazing show that kind of was really breakthrough for me and allowed me to have a career in comedy. Yeah.
And we will, because it's kind of I think you've gone on to bigger and better things. Not
Yeah.
bigger and better, but certainly bigger.
Yeah.
And you've taken total control of everything
Yeah.
you do. But more of that after. We meet our final guest. Now, I just think we should all take a deep breath, because this could be a very depressing experience for us all. Fred, if you could just get through an introduction to yourself and your oeuvre without depressing everybody, I'd be very, very, very grateful. Because I know, you don't love life much and you don't really want to be here.
Well, I think I'll go and kill myself now. Yes, I left my oeuvre back in my Airbnb. I think I'd like to do stand-up comedy. So I spoke to my therapist about it. She said it'd be a really bad idea. So I've done it anyway. So that's what I do, really. And I haven't had a breakdown since. That was my third.
That's fantastic.
So far. Thank you.
Luisa, you're a do-it-yourself, hands-on. Do you flyer yourself?
No, not for a long time. When I first started, I did. Yeah, but also, I can't be bothered with that shit. It's not my remit. There's people that are very good at that, and I've paid my dues. I feel like I paid my dues when it comes to that. I'm not.
Paid your dues? You've only been here about a minute.
I know. I'm not
hardly out of
interested
nappies.
in. I'm not interested in flyering. There's people with a lot more energy and a lot more patience than I have that you go, do you know what? I'd much rather give you money and you go do it for me than, and I'll just focus on the show now. So, yeah.
Andy, do you
I fly myself and then I go to the gig. I think,
Yeah.
But that's a good title, you see.
What's
Sex and
what's the
drugs
title?
and getting old.
That's a brilliant title.
So they all relate.
It's a
No,
brilliant-
thank you. They go, no, thank you.
Really?
Yeah. Which bit? It's funny.
Ah.
It is. No, it is. It does get a laugh, but people just going, oh no, thank you. I think, but they're laughing.
Well, I mean, they
Yeah,
always
it's good.
say
I've
you
done
should
well
do
out of-
comedy about what you know, and you're doing comedy about what you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Now then, we
Or
now turn
forgotten.
to the young people at the end of the table, about whom I know absolutely fuck all, which isn't very
The
professional.
token young people.
Yeah, which isn't very professional, but Stephen is my other half on this podcast. And I thought he might like to introduce them and tell us who the fuck they are.
Well, I'm going to introduce Tasha.
Sorry?
I'm going to introduce Tasha Cluskey first of all. Tasha was it was a one-day comedy workshop that I had my arm twisted into to get involved in, and Tasha did too. And I decided I'm never going to do this again, but Tasha has been doing it daily, thrice daily, ever since then.
What, workshops or comedy?
Comedy, actual
You are-
comedy
Tasha-
on actual stages. Yes.
You now are allowed to answer for yourself.
But the thing is, Tasha was immediately funny, though not intending to be, but has paid her dues now, as we were talking about paying dues. But has been gigging solidly in the past couple of years. But Tasha, you start off. Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. I did that workshop because I lost a bet to our joint friend Bill, who strong-armed me into doing a workshop because he's been trying to get me to do comedy for about 3 years before that.
Bill will never forgive us unless we say it's Bill Boorman.
Bill Boorman. And to which I'd always said no because I thought that sounded horrific, quite frankly. That sounded like torture. And then I did it, and I don't know, I guess like the buzz of actually being on stage and doing it wasn't as bad as I thought, and I kind of fell in love with it. So I've done it for coming up to 2 years now.
Sounds like you're a natural.
So that's going all right.
And the boys.
And then I met these boys doing comedy.
Hi. So we met Tash on the comedy circuit. I'm Danny, this is Ibs. We're basically, the way we're working at the minute is like Tash is kind of acting like our mafia boss.
Yeah.
And we're just behind her at the minute. Like,
We're the
go
capos.
on! Yeah,
We're the capos.
we talked about flyering earlier. I'm loving flyering. I know that's going to probably get drummed out of me in a couple of Edinburgh Fringe time, but I love it.
I'm
so
absolutely
much.
thrilled to hear that. What do you love about flyering? I think everyone should flyer their own show.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, I'm a bit of a people person. Like, I'm not gonna lie, these two keep having a go at me because they're like, we just like, don't want to fucking talk to them. I'm like, hey, come on, it's fun. So
It's like living with a Labrador on cocaine.
yeah, Labrador on
Every
cocaine
day.
is my vibe.
A Labrador.
On cocaine every day.
Oh, get the cocaine off that fucking Labrador immediately.
Don't waste it.
Yeah.
Never.
And
I'm Ibs. Hi. I met Tasha the day I got an injection in my hip, so I was waddling to her. We've been friends ever since.
why did you get an injection in your hip?
I've got arthritis in my hip, so you guys are my people,
Wow.
innit? So
If
yeah,
you could,
like,
if
you
you
guys
could
are my...
look round the entire table
Yeah.
and go, one of these people has arthritis in their hip.
You're the only one, man.
Yeah. I'm doing diversity in more ways than one.
That's
So
unbelievable.
like,
Yeah. Respect. Represent.
come on, like,
You're representing the arthritics.
come on. All my arfies. Yeah, they're doing well. Like,
So, so given that we're with the, is it just me or is it getting really fucking loud in here? Okay, it's fine in there. Stephen says it's fine in there, so it's fine. What we're going to do for the rest of the podcast is we're just going to have a guess at what each other are saying and reply accordingly.